Hey, Max. Dave Roberts, when he just spoke about you, he said that yesterday you had mentioned your arm was a little bit tired, but that you were still kind of willing to get out there and do whatever was needed. What would you describe as kind of what you were feeling, and how would you say you are, I guess, kind of will bounce back tomorrow for your start?
Yeah, just kind of walk through kind of everything. Yeah, I mean, yeah, my arm was tired. You close out a game, I would expect my arm to be tired. The bigger question was, how is it going to be bounced back for today? I have zero experience of trying to pitch on 1 day of rest, like relieve and come back. I do have experience of pitching on 2 days. In the 19 run, when I did pitch against the Dodgers, I relieved game 2 and then started game 4. And even in game 4, that start, I think I went to 100 pitches, and that was a very taxing start in and of itself. So I knew that if I was going to pitch today, I was going to be limited in some form of capacity. That it was going to be somewhere in the pitch count between, call it 60 to 90. I have no clue, and so. That's where, when we just talked, that what made most sense is just, go pitch game 2, and then you're on a full slate, and we know how to navigate games when I'm at full capacity.
Next question, Tyler.
Max, we were just talking to Dave about, I was asking him, when the Rays started the whole opener strategy, what did he think of it? He said he hated it because it looked different, and it wasn't what he thought of as baseball. Obviously, he's come to like it. What did you think of that as a starting pitcher, someone who makes his money pitching from one inning as far as you can go?
I think when you look at this in an elimination game, it came down to matchups, and the way our front office envisioned it, it kind of worked the plan. That you're able to get certain guys in certain matchups and use guys in and out of the pens. And as players, all we want to do is win. So if you tell us this is going to help us win, we're all on board. And let's go for it. To speak on the other side of the coin, from a fan's perspective and baseball as a whole, if you look at it more from the game outside and say, is this something that, do we want the game to go into? Do we want to see this in the regular season? My answer is no. You don't. You want to see starting pitchers. You want to see starting pitchers pitch deep. I think that's best for the fans, best for the players, everybody involved. I think that's how we all envision the games. But when you get down to elimination games, you get into postseason games, you do whatever it takes to win. So to me, I think this is more of a question in the offseason if we want to address it.
Far back on the right, Bill.
Max, just specific to you and your career, if you were preparing for a start and your team came to you and said, we think our best chance to win is to use an opener ahead of you, how do you imagine you might react?
Even if they came to me today and said this is the best way for us to win the ball game, then let's win the ball game. I don't care. I'm here to win. That's it. We're players. That's all we want to do is win. So if they have a different way to be able to do this, to be able to win, then let's do it. I touched on it before. If there is a problem with, if as a whole from the game, look at this from the macro point of view. If we think this is a problem, then we need to address it in the offseason.
Stay on the right back there, Jason.
Hey, Max, I was actually going to ask about this too, but I have another question. I know before the wild card game, you were asked about the system and whether the system was unfair. Let me spin that forward. Your team won a lot more games than their team, and yet their team has home field in this series. Is there anything about this system that you would like to see change?
I don't know if you really want, when you get in a 7-game series, it is what it is. I don't know. The system works. I'm not here to cry about baseball. You can cry about this. We were the wild card team. They won their division. We didn't. So even though we won 106 ball games, we can say all this and that, but we didn't win our division. And if you keep the emphasis on winning your division, I think that's a good thing. For all the teams, everybody involved, winning baseball in the regular season matters. And this highlights the emphasis to win your division, even if we're a great team, and have more wins than the Braves or whatever in the regular season, to be able to say, hey, we should do this. No, we didn't win our division. So I think that keeps the onus on, winning your division. I think that's a good thing. That's all I got to say on that.
Tyler, back here.
Max, how much does home field advantage even really matter? 19, we saw the Nats won every World Series game on the road. The other night, road game. How much does it even matter?
it helps just in travel and sleeping in your own bed and being in your own routines. But once you get playing baseball and once you actually get out there, I mean, it's still, for me, 60 feet, 6 inches. Doesn't matter, that doesn't change from park to park. I don't know. You kind of thrive on the animosity from the crowd. It's fun to kind of pitch on the road and everybody's just screaming. It's deafening and this and that. So, and like you said, it alluded to, when I was in the 2019 run we got on, we won all 4 games, the World Series, every road team won. So yeah, you just have that road warrior kind of mentality, and it's fun to play like that.
Straight back, JP.
Yeah, Max, between your experience in the 2019 postseason or even again this week, do you have even more appreciation for guys like Corey Knebel and anybody else we saw in Game 5 coming back, posting today on 1 day's rest?
Well, they're relievers. They build their bodies to be able to do this, to be able to pitch, 3 days in a row or 4 or 5 or, however they do that. I get how they can do that. You build your arm to be able to do that. They're just not built to throw more than 20, 30 pitches in any given day. My arm's not built to do that. I'm built to throw 100 pitches, and anytime I get in a game, my arm gets sore. So just the fact that I even got in the game, I only threw 13 pitches. My arm was, my body was like, if you pitch, we should be really sore. So it's confusing, trying to take inventory of how do I actually feel. So, I'm built to pitch once every, 5 days. And so just navigating that's just the way we're built, the way to go. For the relievers, they're built to pitch almost every single day. So that you can train your arm to do anything.
Anything else, Max? Bob, straight back.
Max, all those years in Washington when you faced Atlanta, do you remember at what time or what year you thought, man, these guys are going to be something, and then they won 4 straight division titles now?
They were always kind of tough, even when they had some losing seasons. They were really good offensively. They just didn't have the pitching, and so even when you come into this place the number of times that they came back, even when they were losing, that they would find ways. You could be beating them 5-0 because they didn't have the pitching, but then they all of a sudden could make it 5-5, and then you might win the game. But the offense has always been one of their key focal points throughout the entire time, and that first and foremost starts with Freddie Freeman. I mean, hands down, he's the best hitter I've had to face, and I love facing him because that's who you measure yourself against when you have to face the best. So, I can't sit there and say when they were going to get good is when they got the pitching.
Down here in the middle, Alden.
Hey, Max, given that this year was the first year that you were traded in the middle of a season, I'm just curious, how did you sort of approach in your head how to fit in with this group coming in late July, and how do you think that has gone?
I don't know. I kind of knew the guy, a handful of these guys across the years of playing against them, seeing them at different All-Star games, getting to know a few of them off the field. So I already kind of have rapport with some of the guys, and then I don't know, just come in and be yourself and go out there and pitch well. And we had Trey and just keep the jokes going. So find what the inside humor is and go with it.
Tyler?
Max, that was a good compliment to Freddie, what you just said there. We see the results, the stats and stuff. What makes that matchup so hard, even for an elite pitcher like you?
Because he has the ability to hit every pitch. Doesn't matter what pitch you throw. If you overexpose any one of your pitches, I mean, he can hit it out of the ballpark at will. Even if you throw a pretty good location, you locate it pretty good, that doesn't matter against him. You can still hit it out of the ballpark. So you can pitch to him. You can get him out. I have in the past. But I also know you make a mistake, I mean, it can change the ball game in a flash. And you relish those type of matchups. You relish those type of battles because it really pushes yourself to be at your best, if not even find new ways to have to try to get him out, and it challenges you, and you got to match that. Even if you lose, even if he beats me, I got to find all right, take a page out of that. How do you beat me? Learn from it, and try to come back and get him again. So. Like I said, he's the best left-hander I've had to face over the past, specifically the past 7 years. And it's been fun because this is what Major League Baseball does. It constantly brings you into competition with the best players in the league.
Anything else? Okay, Jason?
Max, you grew up in the game at a time when the term Game 1 starter meant something, was an honor. Even if you understand the reasons for an opener in Game 1, is the game diminished in any way if teams are going to use openers instead of an ace in Game 1?
No, I don't think it's necessarily that. I think it's just the reality of where our ball club's at this point in time. I think Clayton Kershaw would be starting this game. Unfortunately, he's hurt right now. So, it's not. This isn't by design. I think as the Dodgers, they look as a whole. They looked us to have 4 starters going into the postseason, but we don't. And so we're just trying to navigate this as best as possible. I'd love to be out there for Game 1, but it makes more sense for me to start Game 2.